Last time I was in India was in 2016, and I had the opportunity to visit several cities and meet with legislators, Chamber of Commerce, and a bunch of different groups, educators. And I came away very impressed with the quality of the people, the dedication, and everything that you are doing. We as members of legislatures have a great ability to make a difference. A great difference for the people of the world. One of the reasons that Speaker Psyche and I are here was after I was elected to be the Vice President of the National Conference of Legislators, which represents all 7,300 legislators, plus all the 30,000 staff members in the 50 states and our territories, is Darshan Mudada, Raul Karan, and others said, hey, we want to have a similar organization. Yours has been around for nearly 75 years. Let's partner together. So we have been working diligently to enhance the cooperation that exists between our two great countries, because as I've learned, no country stands alone. No people stand alone. We are all on this planet together, and as we respect and work together, things will improve. One of the things that I have learned throughout my legislative experience, and I've been to a number of countries, probably over 20 countries now, meeting with different groups, is the fact that we have the same issues. And the way that we address those issues sometimes are different. But we know we all have to deal with economic development, with hunger, with health, with environmental conditions, with improving transportation and communications. So that's why we're here, is to go through and share some of the things that we have, but more importantly, learn from you so we can take back to our states and our constituents different things that can make us work better together. As we're talking about excuse me, what we're doing here, I want to share a few thoughts about our theme here, commendable legislative practices. What are those and how do we work on those together? I would say that everybody, each culture has a different way that we handle our legislative processes. We all have rules, we have constitutions. For example, if we take a look at our sessions, okay? In each one of our states, in the United States, our Constitution sets the length of our session. And you have similar rules of how long those sessions are. I have a very short legislative session, and when I'm presiding over my state senate, we have to get things done. And we have to get those done quickly, because we're in for 45 days a year. Other states have permanent legislature full-time that meet every week all year round. And I know that each one of you have different things that are doing. So hopefully some of the comments that I have will give us an opportunity for increased dialogue and working together. I would go through and say that, in Utah, we try to do things very evenly with great respect. I've seen other countries where the passion is there, so everybody is arguing and loudly doing things. That's great. The only thing I can say is that when I was in Taiwan and when I was in Korea with them, I thought it was very inappropriate that somebody would pick up a chair and throw it at another member. That goes beyond what is acceptable. We need to learn and understand how we go through and dialogue together, how we debate properly. We do it with the core value of respect and that we're all here together. So let me share a couple other things that I'd like to go through. We talked a little bit about this length of the session. Let me highlight three things that Speaker Psyche already talked about. First is public involvement and consultation. To me, the most important thing about being an elected official is representing our friends and our neighbors, our constituents. I enjoy going to the football games, to the grocery store, going to church and other places, so that I can meet with my different constituents and they'll come up and say, Senator, you did so well on this. And somebody will say, you messed up. What are you going to do to fix that problem that you created? So the interaction with constituents, I think, is key. One of the things we used to do, which Speaker Saiki talked about, is we used to require everybody to come to the Capitol if they wanted to testify on a bill. Now we have in-person and remote. And I tell you, we're getting such better information now to make decisions than we ever did before. So working with our constituents and taking care of things in the public is really critical. Technologies, I think, is very important, using those. We use Zoom and that, but these little phones that we have, boy, when I get messages when we're debating bills in committee or on the floor, and I'll have a constituent send me a text or an email, that makes a lot of difference in what we're doing. So technologies, use those. Make the most of them as you can. One thing that I really love and that's important in Utah is what we call our committees. When we have a bill drafted or when we're working on the budget, once we get the initial concept, we bring that to a committee. And the committees, it's just like this. We sit around the table. We say, what's working well with the current law? What needs to be changed? And we'll go through it, and I don't care if you're the opposition or the majority party, we all sit around the table together and discuss what's going on. Through that process, with more minds getting together, I think we come up with a far better product. And in Utah, the bill does not leave a committee until the issues are worked out or everybody says, nope, that's as far as it's going to go. We're going to agree to this point, disagree. It can move to the full floor of the House, but we vetted out the problems and we know what is there. During that committee process, we have lobbyists, we have businesses, we have our constituents all have the opportunity to come in and talk about those issues. I really think that what we're doing here as legislators is one of the most important things that can be done in the entire world. We have big national organizations that do things, are national members of Congress, but it's really on the local level where we get things done. And so as we're working through these things, remember that we can learn from each other and do a lot of things that we're doing. So my time is up here, so let me conclude with a few closing comments. Hopefully through this discussion and these days here, we'll think of new processes and get new ideas of how we can be better, how we can work together, how the opposition and the majority parties can dialogue more, and how through the differences that we have in languages, in ethnicity, in religions, in philosophies, how we can work together knowing that we have common values. I have learned, and again, this is one of my mantras, one of the things that I take, is that we can agree on about, as elected officials, on about 80%. How we go through and deal with that 80%, we go through and have a little bit different ways of addressing that. But those 80% of the things we should focus on. And the other 20% where we disagree, let's sit around the table and work on those together. So just in summary, remember, you have a duty. You have a care that we've been entrusted with. Remember that service is critical. And remember that we're in this together, and that if we love and respect each other, we will do great things together. So with that, I thank you very much.